when you start to say, how do I take those skills and transfer it into the business world? There's that leap for you going from being a coach where you're an employee and you're a professor, and this is where your education and your training and your experience, that jump to business owner, that had to be a pretty interesting moment, a lot of interesting prayers and introspection to do that.
Well, here's what I would tell you. The skill set that we learn through teaching and mainly coaching, I think it's a combination of both. I don't see this as through as many teachers as I do through teachers and coaches, but the skill set of being able to deal with a lot of different people from different socioeconomic backgrounds is a very valuable skill set. Being able to communicate and deal with people, and it can be monetized in big ways, as you all know. And so when I transitioned into business, going out and dealing with people at the Lowe's stores and things like that, whether it be management or the person on the floor or whatever, was pretty easy. I enjoyed that part. The tough part, the main lesson that I learned from starting the Lowe's business was, partnerships. Partnerships can be tough at times. And so we had a 4-person partnership. It was my brother and I, and then a husband and wife. And we were all friends and still are today. But we ran into when 2008, 2009 came rolling in and sales took a little bit of a decline. And none of us were using this money to live with. It was all extra. We all had income coming in where we could, live normal lives, but we were trying to obviously build it up. And so we started assessing the time we were putting in, and we made the determination, my brother and I did, that we could take on a little bit more of the burden, especially the administrative stuff. And we had hired 2 people to work for us, and they happened to be relatives of the husband and wife. So when it came time to make some business decisions as far as cutting back maybe their hours and us taking on more of the burden to keep, to make our time investment worthwhile, they wanted nothing to do with that. And so it became a dilemma. What do we do? I mean, there's 2 want to do this and 2 want to do that. We're partners, and we couldn't see eye to eye. And this went on for about a year. And so that was why my brother and I eventually just decided to step away and allow them to go ahead and continue. And like I said, we remained friends, and it was a great lesson as far as partnerships goes.
Yeah, that's a lesson that you learn, I think, in every business. It doesn't take very long. I think of a business partner that I have. He's an engineer. That's really not the details are not my strength. And you could, there's times where he wants to go this way and I want to go this way. And to be a good partner, you either have to get to here somewhere in the middle, right? Or you can't be partners. And it's interesting because being in partnership with somebody, you're really in a relationship where you're going to be challenged at times, just like any relationship. You're going to have hard times, you're going to have good times, but that not making sure, it's kind of like in your marriage, you got to make sure that the relationship is never in jeopardy, right? So you can argue, you can disagree, but as long as you can communicate about it, and sometimes you get your way and sometimes you give in, I think that makes a good partner. But those are things that you learn also kind of in coaching and sports, is not everybody gets to play quarterback or point guard. I don't know that much about basketball, but I guess, that's not everybody gets to be the main guy on the field, right? Or on the court.
That's an awesome point. And it goes back to, my brother and I, we were making a decision based on business and trying to eliminate emotion. Whereas our partners, they were emotionally attached to the people they had hired because they were relatives.
Yeah.
So they couldn't distinguish. So as a coach, there were times when I had players that I really, really liked. They were really, really good kids.
Yeah.
They just weren't getting to play as much. And I could not allow my emotions of liking them to put them on the floor and take somebody else's spot that deserved it more. It's about, my job was to win basketball games. And so, I always put the best players in the best positions I thought they needed to be in. And, the emotion has to stay out of it.
It has to be that way in business too. But, Dee, one of the reasons that I coached wrestling And I loved coaching wrestling because you never have to make those decisions. Those decisions are made for you, right? If you got two wrestlers and one guy thinks he's better than the other guy and he doesn't think he's, that's fine. No problem. We can solve this in less than 10 minutes, right?
Exactly.
This is going to be solved. There's not going to be a question. And you know what? If you think 2 weeks from now that, that you still aren't getting a fair shake, we'll do it again.